Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Perseverance Maremeni, also known as Madam Speaker. If you're joining in for the first time, you are most definitely welcome, and if you're returning, I appreciate the love and support that you guys are showing me. Now today, the video that I'm going to be making is my least favorite video, and I'm going to tell you why. One, because if you are here and you have searched things like how to get divorced in South Africa, that means things are really bad, and it's a very unfortunate situation because I believe that nobody gets married to get divorced. Number two, I know that people who are going to watch this video who are married or who don't believe in divorce, as if your belief actually makes a difference in somebody else's life, you are probably going to think that I'm encouraging divorce. But trust me, once somebody has made up their mind to say they want to get divorced, once somebody gets to a point where they do research on how to get divorced, there's absolutely nobody who can actually influence them. Otherwise, it means that they've made up their mind from wherever they're coming from. Hence, they are now searching things like how to get divorced in South Africa. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is simply because I've been having so many requests to do the video, because people have been asking me, how is the process, where do I start, I don't know what to do. And I totally understand why you would not know what to do, because I was exactly like you. And the reason why I want to do this video is because I don't want anybody else to be like me and just be a blind person just walking around not knowing where they're going or what they're doing. So I'm trying to make this thing so much easier for you so that you have all the information that you need. If okay, obviously from my point of view, it's not everything that you need to do because I'm not a legal person, so it's just going to be from my own personal experience. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you, but trust me, it's not going to be a very smooth road. The first thing that I would like to advise, I know that I'm not in a position to be telling you what to do, but I strongly advise that you seek therapy. Once you get to a point where you search things like how to divorce in South Africa or how to start with the divorce proceedings in South Africa, then the first thing that you should be doing before you even start researching on that is to attend therapy. Because when you get there, you will just be offloading. Because I know that probably there are so many people that you know who are either in your cycle or not, just people from down the road that you know who have been through divorce before, but you don't want to ask them because you feel like, you know what, you don't want your business out there and you can't trust them with this information because it's probably still very new and you're not comfortable sharing this with anybody. So you just want to do your own research so that you know, because of whatever reason that you've decided that whether you want to get divorced. So now let's go straight into it. I know that for me, you guys, it was difficult for me because, being a Christian and having everybody at the church and all around me saying that, listen, divorce is not a solution, it's a curse for your kids, it's a bad thing. But I knew the pain that I was facing, and I knew what was happening in my marriage, and I knew that my marriage had run its course. So whatever that everybody else was saying didn't even matter to me. Another thing is, nobody wants to give you this type of information because it somehow feels like they're trying to influence you to get divorced, which is not the case. Like I said initially, that once somebody has made up their mind to say they want to get divorced, nobody can come and influence you. That is why if you have made up your mind to stay, even when a situation is painful, nobody can come and force you out of it, So it doesn't even make sense to me why when somebody shares information about getting divorced or just speaking on it, it's you influencing people to get divorced or being a misleading person to the youth, But anyway, I'm not there. Asikwa Lapo. This is what I'm here for today, to just help you find information on the tip of your hands as to how do you now start with the process of divorce in South Africa. Obviously, it's going to differ from time to time, and also as the years are going to progress, this information may not even be, credible, okay? But for me, this is what actually went down. The first thing that I needed to do was I needed to find a legal representative, because when you now get to a point where you want to divorce with your partner, chances are you don't even trust each other anymore. But the best option is always to get one lawyer who's going to represent the both of you, to just draft the letters and everything in between. But obviously, if you are now at a point where you want to get divorced, you're no longer a unit, you're no longer working together, but you are now working against each other. So it obviously you would not want to get a lawyer together with your ex, but you would want to get somebody that you trust, and your ex can get somebody that they trust, and then they just do the whole fighting on your behalf, right? So now you want to get your own lawyer, but obviously if you don't afford a lawyer, you can always do this thing without involving a lawyer. Like I said initially, that you need to involve a therapist. Probably you have a lot on your shoulders already, so you don't want to be going up and down. I always advise that sometimes it's doing things yourself is not always the best option. If you can get help, if you can get somebody to offload some of the load that you're carrying, it's better to do that. that. But if you don't have maybe the funds or means to actually just get legal help and also get a therapist, then I suppose you can do it yourself. But it's going to be so strenuous. I must just warn you beforehand, because even when you have a legal representative, it's not easy at all. Okay, so now if, let's say for example, because I was the plaintiff, there's something called the plaintiff and something called the defendant. Now the plaintiff is the one that initiates the divorce, and also I need to just put it out there that it doesn't matter who initiates the divorce. Even if you guys are mutually agreeing and one is waiting for the other to actually start with the divorce process because you think in the long run somebody must take the blame for the marriage falling apart, trust me, if you really are done, it doesn't even matter who started the divorce process. So you can actually do it, or you can allow your partner to do it, or your ex to do it. Okay, so when you are now the one who is initiating the divorce, you are the plaintiff, right? And you are going to be the one who, your legal representatives are going to appoint the sheriff who's going to serve your partner or your ex with divorce papers. Okay, so now what happens is that if you find a lawyer near you, this is what the lawyer is going to do. You're going to write everything down that like in detail. You're just going to give details to your lawyer as to, I want to get divorced, I was married this date, this is the time that we've spent together, the kids that we have in the marriage. You obviously have to submit some documents, your work and everything. You probably have to open a file. Okay, but basically what happens is that when you now find that legal representative, they're gonna draft summons. Okay, they're gonna draft summons to your ex-spouse, or for the sake of this video we're gonna call that person your spouse because you are not divorced yet. Okay, so now they're gonna draft those summons and they're gonna take them to the court where they're going to be legalized, and the court is going to appoint a sheriff who is going to serve your spouse with those divorce papers, right? So now, because you're the one who initiated the divorce, stating the reasons why you don't want this marriage anymore, obviously you can't always tell the truth as to why. If you just want to cut the whole long story short, you just say, loss of affection, and that is that. But if you want to be honest, you actually are encouraged to be honest, to say the reason why we're getting divorced is simply because this person did this to me and this and this and this and that. But in my case, because in as much as there were so many details that led to my divorce, the main thing, or what I was feeling at that point in time, is loss of affection. I felt like, I don't love this person anymore. This person makes me sick. I don't see myself lying down with this person. I don't see myself building a home with this person, or just going forward with this person. So I just cut the long story short and I just said loss of affection. Okay, so now the sheriff who has been appointed by the court will now go and serve your partner with the divorce papers. Now your partner has to be given enough time. Guys, I'm not going to be very accurate with the number of days which are going to be given for each member, but yeah, I think it's some 21 days where your partner needs to find a lawyer, a representative who's going to respond to your lawyers, to say, okay, because remember, in your letter where you are now serving this person, you're going to be stating that we have kids, we have this, we have that, this is what I want out of the marriage, this is how I want the marriage to be dissolved. Okay, say for example you guys have property, you've got furniture, you've got houses, you've got a farm and all these other things. So you are just going to be stating, because you are the one who is initiating, right? You will say, Mina, in this divorce, what I want is this, this and that. And also you're going to state as to, when it comes to the kids, this is what I want. I want my kids to stay with me, or I want my kids to stay with my partner, or whatever. You're just going to be stating everything. And also if you want that person to help you with maintenance, literally you just discuss everything in detail of how you want your life to be after you are divorced with that person. Okay, so now when you now give that letter to the sheriff who's going to give it to your spouse is going to either work with your lawyer or work alone, or appoint his own lawyers that are going to respond to your lawyer, right? So if your spouse decides that, everything that you have written down there, your demands are ridiculous, it's garbage, it's lies, then obviously they're going to try to appoint a lawyer who is also going to represent them, just in case you guys have to go to court because you're not agreeing on anything, right? So now when you when your spouse or the defendant in this case appoints a lawyer, like in my case, he decided that he's going to appoint somebody else to come and, defend him. So he, in his response to the letter that was given to him by the sheriff, he now then wrote down all the things that he wants, which is now where the fighting started. Okay, because obviously in the beginning you will think that it's going to be a smooth one. Trust me, no divorce is a smooth one. Initially it starts as if, you know what, we all want out of this marriage, we just want to get it over and done with, we just want a 3-week thing because we are sick and tired of each other, but it drags. And I just need to put a side note. I need you to always bear in mind that your lawyer and your spouse's lawyer are colleagues. Okay, so in as much as your lawyer is on your side and your spouse's lawyer is on his side, these people are colleagues, and if they see that there's money which can be made out of the two of you, they're gonna drag this case and you're gonna be paying these people forever. So you need to bear that in mind. I know that probably you and your spouse are not gonna be in good communication terms, but it's either you, for the sake of just getting this process over and done with, you can come together if you want to get it over and done with, or you're gonna have to compromise somewhere, somehow cut on the things which you feel like you deserve, things which you feel like you want, just so that this thing can get over and done with. Because chances of you dying along the process because of the stress level, that is why initially I said that it is very, very important for you to involve a therapist before you start the divorce process, because it can take its toll on your health, on your mental health. Okay, so now going back to the issue that, your lawyer and your spouse's lawyer are colleagues, when they see that, you know what, let's just play around with these people, let's just be arrogant, let's be pompous, let's just demand, let's just do this, let's just do that, they can do all of that just so that they can prolong the process. As letters are busy, going back and forth, that is money that is being milked out of the both of you. So you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful to say, do I really need to be fighting for a table and a chair? Do I really need to be fighting for certain things, or I can actually compromise and sacrifice, especially if you're married in community of property, because everything that belongs to you actually belongs to your spouse. So they can only agree to give you certain things if they want. If they don't want to give you anything, they can always just say, no, I don't want this, and then they can just drag the process and make it even longer. So now, because there's going to be a lot of back and forth on letters about, I want this, I want that, I'm willing to compromise this, I'm willing to compromise that. After all of that is done, then you're going to involve the what do you call this person? The family advocate. Now the court is going to appoint the family advocate who's going to assess your kids, especially if you're gonna get to a point where you wanna fight with the kids, you wanna fight for the kids. The court is now going to appoint a family advocate who's going to come and check your kids to see who are the kids better off with, right? But if you guys are agreeing that the kids are better off with the mom, as the law allows, then the family advocate is just going to, write a report and, authorize that, okay, it's fine, the kids are going to be with the mom, this is how the maintenance is going to take place and everything. The family advocate is just going to witness what you guys have already agreed on. The family advocate is actually not going to enforce anything unless you guys are fighting, and there has to be a mediator where they have to assess the kids to see if maybe, for example, your ex or your spouse is saying that you're a danger to the kids. Then that's going to now have the family advocate have to be involved, in a sense that they want to interview the kids and see who the kids are better off with. But if you guys are agreeing that the kids are better off with the mom, then the family advocate will probably just witness that this is what is going to be happening. The well-being of the kids is well taken care of, and it's acknowledged by the family advocate, right? So once that is out of the way, with the settlement agreements going back and forth, you're realizing that actually this guy is a douchebag, he doesn't deserve this, he doesn't deserve my this, him demanding things from you, him wanting your company to be, liquidated and sold. Like, guys, divorce is ridiculous. You will not believe that the person that you are busy going back and forth with is the person that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with. I always say that sometimes it's better for your spouse to die before you see their true colors, because if it has to get to a point where you guys have to go to court and you see them with their weapons coming to fight you, guns blazing, you will wish you never met that person. You will wish you never met that person. trust me. But anyway, after the back and forth of letters of settlement agreements and everything between the two lawyers, that's if you have involved two lawyers, because obviously remember, if you're doing everything and you're only using one lawyer, that means that you guys will just have to sit down. Sometimes you even discuss beforehand. Before you go to the lawyer, you say, okay, lawyer, listen, me and my spouse, we sat down and we've discussed that this is what we want, this is what we're cutting out, this is what we would like to get from this marriage. And then your lawyer who's been appointed can actually go and represent you at the court to say, okay, I have these two clients who want to get divorced, this is the plaintiff, this is the defendant, this is how the settlement agreement is laying out, you guys have signed it, and then that's it, right? But obviously, because if you've been fighting back and forth, then there are going to be two lawyers who are involved. But eventually, when you guys are tired of fighting and you reach common ground and you say, okay, I'm willing to compromise the couch, I'm willing to compromise the bed, I'm willing to compromise that stand which is in the village, then you sign the settlement agreement, also to say with the kids, this is what's going to happen, the maintenance, this is what's going to happen, and right? So once you're done with that, you sign the settlement agreement. That is what your lawyer, when not the defendant, that's what your lawyer is going to take to court to actually get a date for you to appear in court before the magistrate or before the judge to say, I am the one who is saying I want to get divorced. If the defendant decides to attend, which the defendant doesn't have to attend, if the defendant decides that they want to attend, then when they get there, they will also need to take the stand to say, I confirm that this person that is saying she wants to divorce me is my ex-wife or is my wife. We're married from this date to that date. I know her. We have kids and what, just to confirm everything that is written or everything that is on every document that the magistrate has in her hands or in his hands. Okay, so now when your lawyers apply for a date, once the settlement agreement has been signed and the family advocate's report is with your lawyer, then they get that date, you appear on the date, and then they state your case and they read out the settlement agreement, and your divorce decree is granted. You are free to go and start your new life. So yeah, that is how you do a divorce process in South Africa. And once again, I would just like to say, you know what, if you are here, if you are going through this process, you need support. You need people that are going to be there for you. I know that because already you have given up on your partner, you have already seen the worst in your partner, you won't feel any pain, or the pain won't be as excruciating when they now show you other colors throughout the divorce process. But what you need to prepare your heart for is the people around you. Your in-laws, for example, those are going to turn against you. Some are going to stick with you. Your own family, some are going to stick with you. Some are going to side with your ex. Some are just going to choose not to be there for you when you expect them to be there. Some who are going to be there for you are people that you least expect to be there for you. So be ready for anything. And when I say that you need to prepare yourself, you need to prepare yourself because there are going to be so many surprises which are coming your way. There are going to be so many expectations which are not going to be met. You're going to be disappointed not only by your loved ones or not only by your spouse who is soon to be your ex-spouse, but also with the people that are close to your heart or people that you thought that were close to your heart. Okay, so you need to prepare yourself for all of that. If you are a church member, listen, half of the church, if not 95% of it, is going to turn against you because nobody wants to associate themselves with a divorcee. They're going to come and tell you all these negative things that, hey, you are cursing yourself, you are cursing the kids, you are this, you are that. They are literally going to come and destroy you with words. That's what people are going to be doing. So you need to be ready for that. If you are a person who has answers, you can give them answers. If not, I strongly advise that you stay away from people who are going to break you and bring you down, because you are the most vulnerable at that stage. You are like fragile, so if you allow people to speak, everything that people say to you throughout the divorce process, it sticks and it can kill you. So some people don't make it, some people don't live to tell the tale because of how excruciating the process is. That is why I'm saying that it's not a pleasant place to be. And when somebody says they want to now start with the divorce process and they want to know how the process starts, it's a very unfortunate thing because nobody gets married to get divorced. But if you are here, it is sad, but that is the reality of life, and I am really sorry, but at the same time, congratulations to you, because that simply means that you are choosing yourself. And remember, this video is not only for women, it's for men as well. I have spoken to men on several occasions who have been through the same thing that I've been through, if not worse. So this is for everybody, guys. Know that my intentions are good. I'm not trying to destroy any marriage which is already standing, and I believe that nobody would be watching this video if they didn't feel the need that, you know what, they've given it their best shot and their best shot is not enough. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Love and peace.